All right, Samori Benjamin here at Yankee Stadium before a big matchup in the American League East between the Yankees and the Baltimore Orioles, and being joined now by special guest, 2021 All-Star and the only Baltimore Orioles to have a 30-30 season, outfielder Cedric Mullins. Cedric, man, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. So first, I know you're from Georgia, but it's a big series right here. You won the division last year, and right now the Yankees are a game and a half ahead of you in the standings. So, what's it like to be able to come here to Yankee Stadium early summer and have a big series like this?
Yeah, I feel like every time we come here, it's a big series. Just what the environment brings when we come out. The fans are very engaged. So it's always a good time. We just had a tough battle with Philly, so we're kind of trying to take that momentum here.
Yeah, I know you have some big games here in this ballpark. I'll get to that a little later, but I know you're from Georgia. You were raised in Georgia and all that. There's a lot of Afro-American players right now in the game from Georgia who I've gotten a chance to meet, and it's a great thing. How did you get into baseball growing up?
So that's an older story where I was about 2 or 3 years old. I want to say it was Christmas, and I received a golf club set as a gift from my aunt. And instead of hitting it on the ground, I think they were huge Tiger Woods fans. I was tossing it up and just kind of hitting it to myself. So that's kind of how I got introduced to it. My dad, after that, went to Walmart, got those little Velcro ball sets, and we played catch, and it's kind of my intro to it.
Well, okay, so golf, and then they get the Velcro throwing thing. That's cool, man. So how many of your friends, when you were growing up at a young age, were into baseball and playing baseball?
Well, within my neighborhood, it wasn't that many guys, but Georgia is a hub of baseball players. So, once I started to, play travel ball, get around and play at different parks, that's when I came to understand, there are a lot of kids that enjoy the game. And, you see it, the guys that are in Atlanta right now, striving to be, in this position. It's a lot of guys, a lot of potential.
Yeah, were there any any teams, major league teams or players who might have inspired you at a young age?
Yeah, my favorite player growing up was Andrew Jones with the Braves. He was that dude, and even then, looking back, I didn't know how good he was until, his career kind of finalized and finished up. But then looking back on it, it just made sense. I take my defense very seriously. He was a 10-time Gold Glove winner. I think he won them 10 in a row, something crazy. Yeah. So, just trying to model my game after him as best as I could, but still staying within myself is pretty cool.
Yeah, Andrew Jones did. You know what? I remember his first season. He played the Yankees, '96. Yankees were first time I saw the Yankees in the World Series, and Andrew Jones was 19 years old. No one had ever heard of him, in New York. And that first, one of those first 2 games, he had 2 home runs in the game at 19 years old. And it was like, wow. And so that's my first memory of him. And then you probably saw him hit 50 home runs with the Braves later on in his career and all that. Yeah, man, that's really cool. I mean, so I guess you were probably a Braves fan. Did you play any other sports?
So I played football for a couple of years growing up. Didn't play it in high school, so it was right before high school came around. It was kind of when I knew that I truly just enjoyed baseball more. I really wanted to pursue baseball, and that's what I did in high school throughout.
Were you Atlanta Falcons fan?
I wasn't really a football watcher at the time.
Got
now
you.
I'm kind of into fantasy and things like that. Now I keep up.
No doubt. I just asked because I'm a big Mike Vick fan. He's actually my favorite athlete of all time. So so when I see a guy from Georgia, I'm just curious. All right. So now the baseball. Was there a point where you realized that when you got higher into it and more involved and started playing against a lot of different teams from different areas, did you realize at all that there were not a lot of Afro-Americans that really interested in the game and playing?
So when I was younger, I actually played on a travel ball team called the Atlanta Monarchs, and we were an all-black team. Okay. So when we would travel, we'd go to Knoxville and places like that, and you just wouldn't see what we had, which was a team full of black players. They were kind of sprinkled in there, still great athletes. It was just rare to see what we were bringing to a tournament. So kind of understood that at a young age, and just kind of carried over throughout my years.
Yeah, that's interesting because I played Little League in Harlem across the river over here when I was coming up, and it was fun. We were a really good team, but eventually I guess pitching always caught up with us. But How did you all fare when you all were playing tournaments back then?
Just having fun with it. I mean, at the end of the day, I know we wanted to win, and shoot, that group did a lot of winning. So it was always fun. You know, we got to come close together as individuals during that time. I still talk to like half of those guys, if not more, to this day. So you know, just building those connections is really cool.
Okay, so now I know when you were in high school doing your thing, and then you ended up going to two different colleges. They were both junior colleges, right? Or no? I know the small schools. No,
Lewisburg was the junior college, and I went to Campbell for D1.
Both in Carolina.
Yeah.
And had a lot of success there. Now, was there any point just at that time or before growing up where you thought you had a realistic shot of making it to the major leagues?
When I think back on it, it was more just continuing to pursue the dream. And I had an idea of what that would take. You know, I was diligent, I was hardworking. You know, I was making sure I was getting my grades in school, like everything lining up for me to play. And it really wasn't until after my sophomore year of college where it was like, all right, I feel like I put together one more good year, I have a chance to get drafted, regardless of the round. So that's when things finally started to like come together. But it took some time. You know, there was a lot of adjustments and growth that I needed to do as a player, but just kind of nitpicked myself and, you know, looked at what I needed to continue to grow in and kind of just attacked it.
Now you got drafted in 2015, right? And you got what round? 13th round, okay. So at that point, you get drafted and you're playing college ball in Carolina. So how did that feel for you to get drafted at that point?
That was super cool. You know, the day I got my name called, both of my parents were at work. It was day 3 of the draft. My brother was upstairs asleep, so I was just minding the computer, you know, just seeing what was going on. I finally heard my name called. You know, I was filled with excitement. You know, kind of hard to express and describe the emotions I was feeling, but I know it was pure joy, pure excitement, but I knew there was work to be done even then. So.
Yeah, and the minor league is tough for everybody, but so one thing about the minor leagues for you that's cool, that's very cool for me is I went to Norfolk State, and so you played with the Norfolk Tides, and so when I was there, I always heard about the Norfolk Tides, so that was really cool. I mean, so how was your minor league experience? What was it like for you? I know you played with Norfolk, kind of like 2 different stints or whatever, but just the first time before your big league call-up, how was that experience?
Yeah, I mean, you simply describe it as the grind. You know, it's long bus trips, you know, what feels like terrible hours. You know, it is what it is. You're going out there competing at what is the highest level for you at that moment every single day. So, again, just knowing what I wanted the end goal to be, which is to be a Major League Baseball player for a long, extended period of time, it really didn't bother me much.
Now, you made your debut in 2018, and your first game you had 3 hits, and you were the first Oriole to have 3 hits in your opening game in history. So, first game, historic, amazing. How did that feel, and having your family there and all that?
Yeah, I tell people, I was like, it felt like one big blur, but at the same time, I was just so dialed in to wanting to succeed, wanting to really show up and just prove myself that I belong. You know, it's one thing that a lot of people can battle with just getting called up. So having that day, my folks being there, as many people that have supported me along this way as I could out there, it was cool.
That's cool. And so, and I know next year, Face Adversity 2019, you begin the season, of course, with the Orioles. Then early in the year, you send you down to the minor leagues. You end up spending the rest of your season down in the minor leagues and not getting called up again that season. That must have been crazy. I mean, what was that like?
Yeah, it's definitely tough. It takes a toll on your mental side, but those are the moments where you find out what kind of person and player you are. That mental toughness for me to continue to push through that adversity, continue to try to improve, because that was the biggest thing. I had to make adjustments to different things. The shifts were being incorporated in crazy ways and things like that. So just really taking a step back, understanding I have had success in this game, so I know it's there, and just find it again.
And you stopped switch hitting, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, switch hitting, something where it's incredible to be able to hit from both sides of the plate. Someone who's not a switch hitter, it just seems like, wow, how can somebody even do that? So I guess you were doing that since you were a kid, right? Probably.
I really didn't start hitting in games until senior year of high school. So what felt like late, but at the time I was trying to find
So
that extra piece. So
yeah, you were so good. You were like, I'll try the left side of the plate. That's great, man. That's awesome. So you stopped switch hitting, and 2020 COVID season. That's a lot. Short season. There was a lot going on for everybody, and then 2021, you became an All-Star that year. But early in the year, you had a 2-home-run game here against the Yankees, and that was the first 2-home-run game I believe in your career. Do you remember anything about that 3 years ago?
No, not at this point. No.
Okay.
It's out of my mind. It was like just kind of those runs that I would go on where the power was just there, like just ride that wave, and then when it slows down, you continue to try to find your way on base. That was my game.
The one thing I failed to mention is that you all right now are having a great season. Last year you won the division, but your first 3 years on the Orioles, it was like 100 losses in the season. So I mean, what was that experience like? Just those first 3 years, first of all.
Yeah, you're trying to come together as a team and bust out as many wins as possible. It's tough to do that when you're having such a hard time putting together quality wins day in and day out. So we'd have moments where we'd be getting the snot beat out of us, but in those moments it was okay. How can I not give up this at bat? How can I continue to play the game the right way during this time?
That's awesome. So 2021 makes the All-Star team in Colorado, and have a great season. I mean, and you start that game in center field, so that's magical, man. I mean, so what was that like?
Yeah, some things played out for me. I wasn't supposed to start that game. A couple of injuries that were unfortunate came along the way, and I was able to experience running out there. So it was definitely cool. Okay,
yeah. So how did it feel just to be acknowledged as an All-Star and have your family there, and just to be part of those whole festivities?
No, it was definitely a great experience. Being able to come back and tell some of the guys how that experience was. Not only pushed me to want to go for that again, but really rallied everyone else to strive for that as well.
All right, last two for you. I appreciate your time, man. I really do. Okay, so you were 30-30 that year, like I said, the only Oriole ever to do that. How were you able to do it? And that's amazing, man.
Yeah, just something about what I was doing was just clicking. It was, and I'm always trying to strive for doing better than that. It was like, okay, that's one of my better seasons. It was like I still feel like I could have put out more. Not to put pressure on myself, but I know I can be that player day in and day out. Just need to maintain that focus.
Okay, last one for you, Mr. Cedric Mullins. Definitely, this team is really, in your experience on the team, has been a lot of perseverance. Like I said, the first 4 seasons here, you all had really rough records. The first full 3 seasons, over 100 losses. And for you all to then, 2022, you all had a season that surprised a lot of people. Then last year, you all came back and won a division, won over 100 games. Those divisions from the Yankees. And then this year, the Yankees are having a great season, but we look up, they're only a game and a half ahead of you all in the standings. So what's it been like, man, to just be a part of that whole experience from being rock bottom to where you all are now as a team?
Yeah, the turnaround definitely feels quick, but to be a part of it is, a big deal for me and a few other guys. Just, to kind of see the growth and development of the team. Just enjoy going in the right direction.
All right, folks. Baltimore Oriole 2021 All-Star, the only Oriole in their history to have a 30-30 season. Their center fielder, Cedric Mullins. Cedric, man, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. All right, folks, we're back.